Hello Mysidians, I've got a deal for you. If you use Cards of Ivalice to do your FFTCG shopping, you can get a deal using the promo code PORUMPALUM10. That's PORUMPALUM10, and it will give you a discount on your order. You can also show that you support the Mysidia Post that way, and it helps me out a lot. So use the promo code PORUMPALUM10 and enjoy your purchase. Pretty big announcement today with the FFTCG North America 2020 events being announced. This is a huge deal to me because at the end of the last competitive season, we've got a bunch of feedback from experienced players, from all sorts of players, people reflecting on the year, reviewing the year, and already in this post that Square Enix has made, it's addressed a ton of the feedback and the concerns, and it's done a lot of things right. So this is a huge win for FFTCG, a lot of really cool stuff coming up. So we're going to chat about that all in just a second. Right off the bat, we have to give congratulations for this going up on the official site right away, and then that links to the Facebook page, and that's one of the concerns that people had. They wanted to see things in full text on the official site where a person that doesn't know the game that well might go, and if they don't have Facebook, if they're not in the Facebook groups or where things are shared or liking the page on Facebook. So we've had things posted on the official site before, but it's just good that it was right up there and there wasn't anything on Facebook exclusive. So then the next most common thing we might have heard is, I want some advanced warning. I want to know when events are happening. I want to get tickets. I want to get flights. I want to figure this all out. And we just found out about the entire 2020 season right now. Now, we don't have specific dates for all of the tournaments, but that's fine because we know where they're going to be. We can start planning a lot of the extra stuff, and then like very quickly in January we're supposed to get the rest of the information. So I think that's a really good start. It helps people start identifying where they want to go and which tournaments are they going to go to and everything, so that they can then, when the information comes up on dates, they can start looking at flights for the relevant events right away, and they don't have to start parsing through all of these different locations, different types of events, and different like qualification stuff. It's all clear now, and we can start pre-planning. So we scroll down here and we can see that RB's introduced the season and talking about what we're going to be doing next, and they've got Fanfare 2020. So I went to Fanfare 2019. It was absolutely incredible, and they're bringing back all the best stuff. So the stamp rally was probably one of my favorite things. I still have my card somewhere. I should have brought it out for this video, but basically everything you're doing that day you're getting stamps for, and then you trade that in for like a bunch of sleeves, keychains, all sorts of swag. So it was nice. It's kind of funny. It's the what was being complained about at the Winter Cup, where they had a Gil shop, you have to win to get Gil, and people weren't winning, so they weren't getting Gil, where the stamp rally just really cared if you participated in things. So having that stamp rally is a really cool thing to see again. The boss fight was huge. Trivia was a lot of fun, and then the panel was really great. We got a ton of insight into how the actual game is designed. We learned about how they think about title, not at all, how they think about draft and constructed, and all sorts of things. So I think that even with the format they had last time, then this is going to be really, really good. They're also going to give a full art Zach promo, which is a really cool card, great artwork. We'll pop that up on the screen in a sec here. So the tickets are going to go on sale for this January 10th, and it says space is limited. Now, last time the tickets went on sale very abruptly, and I happened to be on my lunch break, so I bought tickets, and some people weren't so lucky. So to announce this so far in advance, the time and the date, people are going to be able to camp out and get their tickets, which is really nice. The fanfare is also a lot later in the year. It's not in the year, but just later than it was before in March. This actually lines up with my spring break from school pretty well, but I'm going to be away on another trip, so I won't be able to attend this year, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would be huge on my priority list. So next up we have World Championship. So there's 5 Crystal Cups this year in Europe and in North America rather than 6. And if you win them, you go right to the World Championship, same as last year. And in our North American Championship, we're going to have top 3, which is really cool because you get a bronze medal match that has a World's qualification on the line. So we actually have less World seats. That's 4 less seats than last year because we are not hosting Worlds, and I think that's pretty fair. It's good to get the home people to the Worlds event. So for the actual Crystal Cups this year, they've announced, we can see at the bottom here, they've announced where they're all going to be, which is really cool. We got a Canadian one again, which I'm psyched for. But they've also announced the format, which is going to be constructed in the day 1 Swiss rounds, and then top 32 draft, but it's going to be all-star draft, and then followed by the standard constructed top 8. So it's similar to last year, but instead of drafting the sets that they're going to be releasing, we're going to be drafting a specially curated a cube of cards made by Hobby Japan, and I think this is actually pretty neat. There's some things I do and don't like about it, but overall I think it's really going to be really fun, and I actually think it's going to be easier to practice and cheaper to practice than draft. Like I know that some people were doing a draft and then like resealing the packs and shuffling them up and try to save money that way, and other people were just buying packs every time they drafted. But once you put together a cube, like it's there, it's going to be together forever for the next set, for the set after that, and it's also going to be easy to put together. If you do have a testing group, you guys can pool together. You can make proxies and put them into a cube between like a group of people that are, because let's face it, if you were testing draft for Crystal Cups, you were testing in a group anyway. So between a group to be able to make a cube when they give us a list and be able to practice it, that's actually going to be pretty cheap. And I'm assuming if they redo this format, then you're going to have the cube next time. It's not going to change an incredible amount. It might have new cards in there or more balances, but I think that overall having the cube is actually easier for people to prepare for than it is for draft. So looking down at all the locations down here, we also have the months, so it really helps you figure out, well, okay, in July I'm super busy, I'm going to my brother's wedding or whatever it is. Well, I'm not going to make that one. So when they announce the specific dates and you just go online and start buying flights and stuff, you know that you're not even worrying about the July event. So I think that's really cool. Okay, so now they have open tournaments, which is a brand new type of tournament. It's kind of replacing the Petite Cups, and this is really neat because people were worried about the Summoners Cups, the community contest, replacing the Petite Cups, but if they're adding something else, then that's really nice. And these are going to be like, they're going to be totally renamed, and they're going to have incentives for the top 4 qualifying for the North American Championship. So you can think about these as like super local qualifiers. So instead of the top 1 qualifying for the North American Championships, it's going to be the top 4, which is pretty awesome. There's 3 lined up there, and they're going to have, it says a new type of format, so I don't know what that's going to entail. Is it going to be something to do with like sealed, or maybe it's going to be title, or maybe they have something entirely different, or just like a mixture of things, like a 2-deck and or standard or whatever. It could just be like a total combination of formats we have, but this is still really exciting, and I think this is a really good direction to go, because overall we're adding more meaningful events, whereas the Petite Cups might not have been viewed as very meaningful by everybody. Okay, local qualifiers. So again, they're focusing more on increasing the quality of these local qualifiers, and they're going to be having these exclusive local qualifier sleeves, and they're also going to make sure that every event has a minimum of 8 players for a qualification spot to be actually awarded. And I think that's probably fair, but at the same time, if anybody travels for a local qualifier, that's going to be devastating to find out you're the 7th person and the 8th doesn't show up. Like, I don't know if the store is going to fudge a number at that point or something, but that's going to be harder with new software. But it's just, that's not a fair scenario, but it is also kind of tough when a small local qualifier like just gets somebody in. It's kind of nice in that it gives every store the chance to get these events, and then I wonder if there's waves and they're like, well, in wave 1 these small stores didn't get their qualification out, we can now let's go throw more events at these big market stores that have huge scenes, so that those scenes can get more invites. Because like I play in a small scene and we need to have an LQ. It's important to us, but I totally think that, you know, there's some LQs that have 30 plus people. They need more than one invite. It's just not fair to those people when I have to win an event of like 10 to 15 and they have to win an event of like 30 to 40. So this is, I think, overall a good change. We just have to make sure people don't get screwed over. So they're also going to have Gen Con, which will not have a Worlds qualification attached to it. And I think that's pretty fair, because Gen Con is super hard for some people to go to, cost-wise, the tickets, the convention, all this stuff. So they're just going to have like a ton of FFTCG events that with qualifications on it for North American Championship. And I bet that's just going to be like a ton of fun. That way, you can even go to that and just really enjoy Gen Con as a whole. And then you have these other tournaments, but it's not going to be, you know, this world qualifying thing. So they've also renamed the Dark Crystal Cup the Last Chance Qualifier. Well, I guess it was called that, but they're just making sure that they're not calling it the Crystal Cup Dark as well, just because it doesn't have a world spot and it's just a different type of event. And I think that helps them kind of like just differentiate it and hold different rules and different things with that. So that's going to be top 4 go to the NA Championship, and I think that's a solid move. So we've got the summary of all the events here, and it's already looking like a really awesome schedule for the year, and we're going to get more information. So if you're interested in playing Final Fantasy TCG competitively, then you've got a lot of different options for you. And there's also going to be the local qualifier, so make sure that your store is looking out for when the applications open and we get all of our stores are applying, no one's missing out, and we've just got a huge amount of local qualifiers for everybody, so we can all be as happy as possible. So that's going to be it for me, and I just wanted to kind of go over all this stuff because I think that this is super positive news, and I'm just really excited about the competitive season this year. I hope to go to a couple events, so I'll definitely be going to the Portland Crystal Cup. I'll try to go to at least one more, probably in Ottawa if possible, because you got to rep Canada. And I'll be actually going to local qualifiers this year. So I got married last year, and between the wedding and the bachelor party and just all sorts of conflicts, I actually missed every single local qualifier that I could have driven to. So this year I'll actually be going to local qualifiers, and I'll be able to talk a lot more about my preparation and doing videos on the decks that I'm playing, etc. So we'll see you next time, and thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. You can like and subscribe to support us further, and you can read the Mysidia Post articles at themysidiapost.com. You can also check out our Patreon if you want to support us more. And if you need FFTCG singles, then look no further than Cards That You Release. They've got great deals and prices. Check them out. Finally, I'd like to thank FF Decks for creating the best website for creating your Final Fantasy trading card game decks. They've also got a Patreon, so make sure you go check them out. They work so hard for the community, so let's pay them back. See you next time.